Okay, well, hi everybody, and welcome to this other webinar with TOA Canada. Bonjour Pierre-Alexandre. We have at least one French-speaking people online. So we'll go right away because we have a lot of slides to go through, a pretty exhaustive line of products with the 8000 Intercom. And if you have questions, please feel free to direct them to TOA Canada Corporation with the chat box, as Kayla said. If not, you can always reach me afterwards at the office or on my cell phone, or call our technical department to ask any further question about this product or any other one else. So let's go. Basically, the 8000 is the new generation of our intercom, and our intercom history is based on a legacy of several products. There were the XS 1000, 5000, and 6000, the IC 100, the VS 900. Basically, the IC 100 was the intercom meant for the school market. But this product has been discontinued a little while ago, and then we suddenly realized that we were losing this share of this market in the school market. So basically, the legacy system were older technology based on a card cage exchange system. All cards were for dedicated applications, so it was an expensive system and harder to maintain. Obviously, an older technology and a non-IP based system. With the IC 100, finally what we had was the features that the school market are asking from us. So we were able in the past to do time signals, so generate bells and whistles for classroom to signal the beginning of the class, the end of a period. So classroom change signals as well. And with our intercom, we had a very important feature also, which was a privacy, which was preventing from hearing in the classroom if the teacher did not want to. So that was done through another device, but now we have the RS-140 that we'll be seeing a little bit further on. On the VS900, there was also other features available to us that was making it interesting for the school market, such as call queue, priorities, select, and the calling, three-party conference, also direct interface in order to merge with access control or other security equipment. We had the capability of recording a conversation and also outside line calling, so calling outside of the intercom system, which was not available anymore after that with the 8000 system. So we had, yes, capabilities to do incoming and outgoing calls. So with the 8000 system, there is some great benefit. It's an IP-based technology. It could be all master station, and obviously there is the door station, and we'll be able to do some cheaper system than with the legacy system. We also have now cheaper master station in order to decrease the overall cost of the system. That's all things that we're going to be seeing more in detail in this presentation. So the 8000 system obviously is an IP addressable system, so it works on LAN 1. It's highly scalable and configurable, so we can do lots of things out of one box. Obviously, since it's an IP-based system, we can control and monitor the system via the network. It's integration ready and upgrade ready. It's very bandwidth friendly. We're not using a lot of this network bandwidth, only 130K in order to have our communication flowing through the network, so it's very little. It's easy to maintain and to troubleshoot via PC. And obviously, there's a lot of new devices that we have launched earlier this summer that are to be used to retrofit our legacy system. We'll see that also a little bit further on. Like all TOA equipment, it's based on reliable and very proven technology. It's designed also in the same fashion as all our equipment for very long life and reliability, and also able to be upgraded. And our equipment is UL listed. As we said, scalable and expandable. Our N8000 IP system can occupy up to 192 node or IP device on one network. So if all those nodes or components are exchanged, we're able then to grow up the system up to over 3,000 stations. Could be master and subs. It could be all master system. So we're really able now to suit also very large projects. As I said, system can be all masters, so we can have a system with only master if need be. Our 8000 system is an hybrid, so we'll see a little bit further on how this works. Variety of interface for outside communication, so through a telephone line, could be through PBX. We have obviously some audio paging and also capabilities to merge with access and CCTV system. So basically we can configure our equipment now to suit just about any application, and we'll see today a little bit more specifically about the school market. But an 8000 system is huge in a wide variety of installation. We have a lot of our equipment in airports, in institutional application also, such as large building. In the Quebec area, we have our equipment now at the Olympic Stadium, in the airport of Montreal. Lots of justice centers are using it, and we'll see how this can fit the market. So since it's an IP system and based on a LAN or WAN, there's no geographic limitation to our system. We see over here just a slight overview of the component, just to give you a small idea of the system concept. So as you can see, we have IP masters and substation, and all those other components are also IP-based components, and we can populate up to 192 of those units on one network. All those boxes over there are brand new. They have been launched end of spring, early this summer, and we'll see exactly what we can do with all of them. Another idea over here of system architecture. So we see the network over here, all those equipment that are sitting on the network. We have the IP station there. Over here we have the 8000 exchange, which was the initial exchange we have launched, connecting with a simple twisted pair to all those units over here. Over here we have the N8000 RS and 8400 RS, which has been designed to use our legacy substations for the VS900. The 8000 MI, that is also box capable to direct call and receive call from PBX. The 8000 CO, that is connecting to the outside world through a telephone line. The AL box, I should say, is connecting to a regular analog telephone. The AF box is also an important box for the school markets, since this is the one that will manage the scheduling and the bells and the chimes. The DI box, which is basically a control I/O box in order to control other equipment. And over there, the DI, yeah, exactly for this, and the AF for audio paging and scheduling. So this is our IP stations. We have our full-blown IP master over here, the N8500MS, which is our full-equipped master station with a double line of LCDs for caller ID and menu surfing. Those are equipped with speed dial, speaker output. They are POE equipment. All our device for master station and substation are POE. If POE is not available, there is a small power supply available, the 801210, which will be giving you the ability to power up those units if POE is not available. So the N8000 and 8010EX exchange are the initial exchange that have been designed in the 8000 series. So it's going to occupy one space on the network out of those 192 knobs that we can use. And all the exchange, sub or master, will connect to a simple category 3 twisted pair cable. And the exchange will provide the actual power to each station in order to be functional. We have on that box 4 speech paths and internal and 8 external speech paths, meaning that we have 4 communication possible internally in one box and 8 external on the network possible communication. Basically all new devices from TOA are coming with the rack mount kits, and the 8000 also. So in the box you will receive rack mount and wall mount brackets. It's also important to notify that the 8000 EX are full duplex units. Overview over here of the master available for the 8000 EX. So the full-blown master, just like the IP1. The only difference is this one is connecting to simple category 3 twisted pair cable. We have a stripped-down version with no LCD, no speaker output. We have with no handset, a version just hands-free. We have an industrial master, IP54 rated, so resistant to dust and to humidity, and the 8031, which is an interesting master also for mainly hospital use, like in labs or clean rooms, or where you need to be able to sterilize the equipment. Actually, on this master, you have a contact closure that gives the opportunity to use a pedal or a mat in order to connect or initialize a speed dialing in order to dial without touching even the device. Again, in the 2-wire for the N8000EX, there's a regular substation over there, and there is also an outside version available. The N8031 boards and the N8050 boards are available separately, so to do retrofit installation, like in elevator or parking gates or stuff like this, any custom installation, those can be used. small diagram of how the EX will work and the features available with them. So the EX is sitting directly on the network in order to talk with other IP components. There's a paging port on the EX in order to have overhead paging. And all those equipment can connect directly to the EX with a simple twisted pair. This is one of the new boxes that we have launched earlier this year, the 8000 RS and the 8010 RS. Basically designed in order to retrofit our legacy system, the VS900, and to move our customer to the IP technology. So same thing, you will have the ability to connect 16 substations to this exchange. The major difference is that it has only 2 speech paths for the 8000 RS and only one for the 8010 RS, which is a stripped down version to lower down the cost. So, and it will work basically with all our VS900 substations, so the 150, the RS 160, 170, 180, and the new RS 140. Excuse me. Basically, the main difference with the RS box is this one's going to need one pair shielded cable, which was used for the VS900 technology. It's only half duplex conversation with the master station. And we have vandal-proof station available for this equipment, detention-grade vandal-proof station used in jails and justice centers. So here are the legacy VS900 substations. So the 150, 160, 170, and 180 are still available. And the new RS 140, which is very important in the school market, since we have this privacy button there, and seems like it's more a union thing, that the teachers can have the control over the intercom to not be listening when they are teaching. The N8000AF also is probably the most important box we have released for the school market, since that's the box that gives the ability to manage the internal bells and chimes built in the box, but also to manage external audio device in order to play some bells and do time signaling. It will also give the ability to do paging, music distribution over the LAN and the network. Here is a little diagram of how the system is working over here. So basically you can have whatever player, it could be a CD player, it could be a digital repeater, and with this box you can hook up and send this audio content on the network to the rest of the system. And it can also be broadcast over the overhead paging. Also, before with the VS900 we had this capability of recording conversation, and now the AF box is giving this ability. So from a master station you are able now to do recording with the AF box. The AF box does not record, just give the audio output to record. So you will need a digital recorder or any other type of recording device. Here's a little sketch of a recording conversation utilization. So the AF box is sitting on the LAN with the EX. It could be an IP master also. In this scenario we have illustrated the EX with the regular master, but it could be only a simple IP master connecting to the network, and this box is there to send to a recording device. So we're talking about the time scheduling function. So with our software, it will have the ability to do some time scheduling, some audio scheduling. There is some built-in chimes, simple tones available to us, built in the box. Also, this box is accepting time synchronization function from other systems, so it might receive a time queuing from another master clock, and even the AF can be used as a master clock in order to synchronize other clock in the school or whatever venue that you are installing with those equipment. And automatic daylight saving time correction is built in also. The AF box, when we're talking about scheduling, is very powerful. Actually, there is up to 16 schedules that can be managed with that box, and in each schedule, 64 events, which is giving you a possibility over 1,000 possibility of time scheduling function. And we'll see how it could be very interesting for the school market. An example of the chimes and bells that can be generated over there. We have several chimes and bells available to us, and as you can see on the lower part, with the contact output on that box, you can also, from let's say our EV350R, send a special bell, and more in the school market, especially from K to 12, they're using like now songs or special sounds for special events, like for Halloween, etc., to ring the bells. So that could be interesting for this market as well. With the AF box as well, paging is available to us, so we can do zone paging, multiple zone paging, wide area paging from this box or with that box. Available to us is up to 192 zones of paging. So that can be a very sophisticated paging matrix at the same time for all kind of applications. So we can do up to 16 zones at the same time when using the unicast mode, or up to 191 with multicast. And multicast and unicast are more IT concepts that I will not explain today, but it's just a capability to send to multiple location or a single location at the same time, the same information. As I was saying, wide area paging can be done using those equipment, and we'll see exactly how we can do this now. So as we can see over here, we have the EX, the paging there, the paging port from the EX that can give the ability through the network to communicate with the master or any other device to do some paging or zone paging. The AL box, now that's a very simple box. Actually, it was designed in order to connect a cheap regular analog telephone to the network and to the system, just to have a cheaper version of a master. Especially with those days, you have reception area now where you don't have any people, so you might connect just a cheap phone in a reception area in order to contact somebody's master station in order to be allowed to enter in a building or something like this. That's how it's connecting. So basically, you have all the device of your intercom system connecting to the network with the AL box, and you connect. They're showing quite an evaluated telephone there, but you can connect just a cheap regular analog telephone. The 8000 CO is also a very interesting box. In this sense, it gives the ability to the N8000 intercom system to communicate with the outside world through a telephone line. So it's possible with that box to transfer call over from the intercom system but it's also possible to call in the system and do paging if need be, or call a master, do scan monitoring, etc. That's the way it's connecting. Like the intercom is there, the CO box is sitting on the network as always, and connecting to the telephone switch or a CO line directly. So, expansion of outside line functions. We've seen that we have access to PBX. We can do paging from the outside world. We can do scan monitoring from the outside world. We can also do external equipment control from the outside line if we use some control input-outputs. Another new feature on our substation, on the N8050DS, the door station, is what we call the Vox call initiation. Basically, the box is set up to manage the normal level of conversation, but if the level is too high, if there's a special noise too loud, this will initiate a call to a master station. And this is the diagram for the MI. The MI is the box that gives the capability to connect through our legacy system, the XS. This box also gives the ability to connect to the PBX, so transfer a call over to a PBX telephone system, or calling in the system in the intercom through the PBX switch. There is a bunch of control, contact in, contact out, to control some external equipment such as a strobe, or a door strike, etc. And there is paging port as well, and audio input for external audio device. The DI is strictly control in, control out box in order to control other device or do special application, or also to talk with other security system. As an example, talk to a CCTV system. So if somebody prompts our intercom, it might cue also a camera, or PTZ a camera to a door. So it's a control I/O with which box you have a lot of possibility to control other equipment. This can be done directly from the software, or from a master, or even from the outside world, from a CO box. Scenario here of a DI, so mentioning door strike. The DI there is sitting on the network, and from a master station, well, you can do door strike and release a door if need be, or whatever other equipment control. You can also have visual panels in order to identify where the call is calling from. It might be a simple panel like this for school, as an example, with the classroom number. It could be a map with LEDs, so you see physically on the map where exactly the call is coming from. And the DI and the MI will give, as I was saying, ability to link with CCTV camera system, or even access control system, in order to talk to each other. The 8400 RS is also for our VS900 legacy system, but using the 4-wire type substation, so it's more for noisy environments such as elevator. So it's a 4-wire shielded type of, it's not shielded, just 4-wire type cabling that we're using there, and obviously it's a full duplex operation at that time. Again, diagram about the 8400 RS box. So we see the station there, the 450, 60, 70, and 80, and the optional handset, connecting to the 8400 RS box sitting on the network. 16 of them, just like all the other components, you can connect to the exchange and talk with the rest of the intercom system. So the general features that are coming with the system, echo cancellation function is there. PTT can be initialized. Push to talk can be initialized on any master. You got call, recall, and redialing function on all the masters. You got automatic or continuous call response. Also mute, hold, transfer is there. You got one-touch dialing, quick dialing, speed dialing available. You can obviously transfer call, do group hunting, and call forwarding. Station scan, we'll see a little bit further exactly what we can do with this, but that's a very nice feature in order to monitor the system on the security side. You can do door remote control, paging obviously, and conversation timeout. Executive priority also, we can set up priority level to the incoming calls, and we'll see also a little bit more further in detail what it's all about. So again, page and conversation priority. So the new features also with the new software and the new firmware of the 8000 is call queuing that we were not able to do before. So an operator, a security agent, is able to select the call on which he wants to answer. As I was mentioning, there's 4 priority levels of calls, so it's going to select automatically queue the call if it's one call is more important than another, and there is emergency caller page. So if somebody is pressing several times on the substation, it's going to generate an emergency call. That's going to be recognized. Of what we're seeing on the LCD screen, the operator or security agent in front of the master will have access to this type of display. So we see the calling station numbers and the numbers of people calling in. Actually, the calling station ID is also alphanumerical, so you can here we see the calling station number, but it could be also you could see classroom number 2 or local 1 or whatever. So you can manage that as you want. Formerly, it was not also possible with our system to do a 3-party conference call. Now it's available to us. It has to be all master. And I was talking about scan monitoring a little bit earlier, but that's a very nice feature of the system. It gives the ability to go listen to all of the station of the intercom in order to make sure that every station are functional, or let's say when the building is closed, security agent want to go here if he's not hearing anything special in the building that would show that somebody's left on place. And again, those are the most important function and features for the school market. And now with the AF box, the CO box, and with the RS-140, we have access to those features that the school market is requesting. So we can do time signal function, talk back conversation, and have privacy as well. Privacy, we'll get that with the RS-140 that we see there. Time signal with the AF box, and toggle exactly with the RS-140. Here's an example of a setup for a classroom system. So basically the RS-140 substation using a speaker, an 8-inch speaker, connecting to an 8000 or 8010 RS box. This box should be sitting on the network there for the classroom. That's a typical setup for a classroom. So with this equipment in the school function, we now have the ability also to do door strike or door remote control. We have the possibility of do time signaling with the N8000 AF box, so bells and classroom changes. And there's an outside line absence. Let's say we want to transfer over to the principal's cell phone or whatever outside telephone line, the communication, if there is an absence. Important feature also for the school market is the large ability that the 8000 Intercom has to build some groups. So we can have some paging groups for level 1 to 6 as an example, and another group for class from 7 to 12. And setup, more complete setup over here for the school market. We see over here the N8000 AF box used for paging for the hall, the yard, the cafeteria, etc. And we have another 8000 AF box there to do the bell schedule. It's important to mention that the 8000 AF box can be used only for one application. So if you're doing time signaling and scheduling, you will need one 8000 AF box. And if you want to do music distribution or paging or whatever with it, you will need another one. You cannot do both things simultaneously with the same box. An 8000 RS is connecting to the classroom over here, the second level, and this box over here with the first level. All of those are sitting on the network and talking with these IP device over here. We see also over here the CO for the outside telephone calls or incoming telephone calls to the intercom, and DMI is communicating over here with the PBX of the school. And the PC is also sitting on the network in order to do the maintenance of the system. So another block diagram showing an example of a classroom system, maybe a small campus over here. So we see 3 different buildings sitting on the same network, and over there we have the 8000 AF used for paging, RS talking with the classroom intercom. On the other side over here there is a staff room building where they have also an AF box to manage the time signaling in the school. Another AF box also to record some calls, and the CO that is communicating with the outside world, and another building with other classroom. It might be another time a building on the campus which is 1 to 6 and 7 to 12 grade on the other one, and basically same type of design. This is a very interesting diagram showing the power of the IP intercom for the school market. Over here we have a larger campus or several schools in a school board, and they're all sitting on the same one. And at the district office or the head office of the school board, we have over here an IP master and an AF box. This AF box can manage several schedules. So it can also manage several schedules for several schools. So we might have one AF box managing the time signaling for one school, a different one for the school B, another one for the school C, etc. And all of those schools can talk together, if they all have master, obviously, directly with the district office or from a school to another. You can then even create group, and let's say a group paging only for the D and the E, and access it directly from the school board main office. So it's very powerful for the school market, especially now that basically all the school boards have their own one for all the schools, and they can talk to each other easier than before. We were talking about competitive cost earlier, but you've got over here an idea of what would cost from the list price a standard intercom system. So for around $21,000 over here, we have complete equipment to populate 32 classrooms, have one master, 2 of those AF boxes for time signaling or music broadcasting, and even the CO box is included there to communicate with the outside world. Well, when talking about compatibility, normally TOA has in mind, to follow up with his equipment. So the RS boxes has been developed to make part of the equipment of the VS900 compatible with the new N8000. Obviously, it's already a new generation of N8000. The boxes will work with the older boxes, but all the new hardware and features and functions will not be compatible with the older unit. You must upgrade the firmware and the software in order to make a system that will work with all the new features available to us with the new N8000 device. So all components must be version 2.10 in order to use all the new hardware and software features of the new 8000 boxes. So as mentioned, the legacy VS900 substation can be used with the new N8000 RS boxes. Unfortunately, the IC100 are not compatible to this technology. Here is the tool and resource available to us in order to market and to work with this system. So we have obviously brochure, we have the complete manuals, we have CAD drawings available in PDF or DWG. We have some worksheets available for you guys in order to help you out to build a system, and obviously the software for those units.